Here's Skylar Meade, the Troy baseball head coach, former Louisville Cardinal for sure, and just wanted to chat with you a quick second about the two Cardinal pitchers we had this week that you got a chance to work with. When I talked with both guys, they gave rave reviews about just kind of the way you dealt with them and the things that they were kind of picking up and learning from you. Could you just maybe give your own input on those two guys and kind of what you saw and how you think that they will project it as they get ready for the next season?
Well, first off, aside from the baseball part, they were two of the most incredible kids. And there's a lot of good kids here, but man, they were complete professionals from the first day all the way through tonight, and I think that speaks well for how successful they'll be in life. Obviously, Mr. Forbes has one of the better fastballs that I've seen. Gives me some real Bobby Miller vibes. The way he looks on the mound, the aggressiveness, he gets into that force moving forward, and the way that fastball carries, it's really good. I know as he continues to develop his breaking stuff, I think he's got a chance to be potentially a first rounder. And then you look at, Tucker Biven is kind of when you say, hey, what do you want a college pitcher to look like, right? Just that strong, durable physique. He looks so competitive. You can tell he's played other sports. I know he's a good hooper up there, scored a lot of buckets. I know Coach Mack thinks he can outshoot me, which that part wouldn't be true. Everything else about him is. But man, he was really impressive in his outing here. But he's impressive the whole year. Every time I turn on a game, that guy's in the fire, and he's finding a way to navigate through. And so I think it speaks volumes to, look, I'm obviously partial Coach Mack, being my coach my last year as a player, and all the roots that I have to Louisville. You hope that when you meet kids, and I would include, I got a lot of interaction with Zion Rose. I know I didn't get to coach him over this week, but every single time I saw him, he came up with a smile, said hello, was busting my chops, which I love. Just great kids, and to me, that's what's going to spearhead Louisville to a huge 25-year. We have great kids, talented kids that really, care what they represent. Good things will be on the horizon for that program and those three guys individually.
Can you talk a little bit about your coaching style a little bit? I was here all week, and just I love the idea that when Patrick was out there playing long toss, you're the guy out there playing with him and just kind of playing. I heard some guys say that maybe when you're down at Troy, you're out there shagging flies and diving around trying to grab some balls, things like that. And as a little bit of a younger head coach, being able to relate to kids and do those kind of things goes a long way with kids, I would assume. And can you just talk a little bit about your style in that way and how you think that helps you?
Well, I will say this, whether people think I'm an idiot for how I run around or the energy, I'm being 100% myself. That's how I am if no one's looking, or if a stadium has 10,000, I'm going to be the same way. And so, in our program, we certainly want to make sure that from the top down, people know how genuine we are and our care and passion for the player, our passion for winning, and how we're going to go about it. It's, if you were to stay true to who you are, I think you'd be ultimately successful. And look, two people that I lean on because I played for them, and they're two of the most elite head coaches in college baseball, Dan McDonald and Chris Lamonis. When I became a head coach 3 years ago, they both gave the exact same advice. It was as if they were on the same call, and they weren't. It was two separate calls, and they said, do not change. Do not change. Do the same stuff you've been doing. It's made you successful. 14 years an assistant to become a head coach. Do not change what you do. And I'm not going to do that. I know that at some point, maybe when I'm 55, my first step in the outfield might be a little bit slower, but I'm not going to change how I am because we're playing a kid's game. And yeah, winning and losing is obviously of the highest importance if you're at programs such as Louisville, Troy, the great programs these kids are on, but I'll never change. I'm going to do things my way, and we'll let the chips fall. Unfortunately, it's gone really, really well, but I'm glad that those guys knew that I wasn't putting on some act for our 11, 12 days here. This is how I am, and at least if you have a friend that you go, hey, I think he'd be a good fit at Troy, they know what the expectation is.
Can you walk me through maybe if there are a few things that you maybe picked up from Coach McDonald that you just kind of really try to do yourself, or kind of teach the same way or something similar in your own program?
Well, I think number one, just look, it's 18 to 23, 24-year-olds playing. Motivate. This isn't like football where you can run through a brick wall, but you can motivate them every day in your messages if they're sincere. And I think Dan McDonald, just my opinion, I think Dan McDonald's the greatest motivator in college baseball. I think if you were to sit a group of people and you want to get them riled up and engaged and listen, he's the voice that I think can do that better than anybody else. And so it's made me make sure that whenever I talk to the team, I have an idea and a continual and perpetuating message, because I know that the grunt work and legwork he puts into the messaging to his teams over the last, I guess, 18, 19 years as a head coach. So that's certainly one thing. And then, I think the other is just the emphasis on the bodies, how you take care of the bodies, the nutritional aspect that I got to see in our 1 year together as a player, and then just watching and talking and getting information for him. I mean, these are supreme athletes. You look at the three guys that are here with Rose, Bivin, and Forbes. Those are great physiques, great bodies. They do the right things to take care of themselves, and they better themselves physically over their, early years. And then as they continue to go as professionals, they'll know how to do it right. And that's why Louisville's had so many big leaguers since, Coach Mack and his staff has been there. They know what it takes so that when they get there, they have the one-up on the competition.
Awesome. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.